Hi, this is your teacher, Miss Corson, in case you have forgotten. As promised, today I'm going to do a breakdown of the United States Preamble to the Constitution. So let's break down that word, preamble. Preamble is simply an introduction. So when the Founding Fathers wrote the preamble to the United States Constitution, they had 6 goals in mind. And within these 6 goals, they're talking about how we want to improve our country from the Articles of Confederation. If we can recall, the Articles of Confederation were our first attempt at a constitution. Because of the events of Daniel Shea, we all know that this really didn't work out too well. So when the Founding Fathers met again to revamp the Articles, they made sure in the preamble that we explicitly list what are the 6 ways we're making sure that America is the best country to possibly live in. Now, this is kind of our pre-goal. Maybe we can refer to it as goal number 0. The preamble begins with the phrase, "We, the people of the United States." So, we have been talking about this all year so far. We've been saying that government gets its power from, drumroll please, the people. And that it's government's responsibility to serve the people. And every single person benefits from the government. This is also referred to as a social contract. Now, we've also talked about social contract, but I've never called it social contract. Social contract and self-government are the exact same idea. It means that people agree to live under a government and have that government create laws all will follow. In return, the people gain protection of the government. So it's an agreement that people will follow the rules of the government, and it's the government's responsibility to provide laws and to provide security because the government is there to serve the people. It is all about the peeps. Now, you're also going to see the phrase "we the people" associated with another term, and that term is popular sovereignty, which also goes back to what we've been talking all year, that government gets its power from the people and it's there to serve the peeps. So the first goal listed in the United States Constitution, or in the preamble of the United States Constitution, it says, "in order to form a more perfect union." Now we break down those 2 words, perfect and union. Hopefully by now we understand the phrase perfect. But that word union is talking about a United States as a whole. So the first goal is to make sure that the United States is in essence perfect, that it is the most perfect country to possibly live in. Goal number 2, establish justice. Now we've also talked about justice so far when we talked about the Magna Carta, and that everyone gets a fair trial by jury. So when we're talking about established justice, it means that everyone has the right to a fair legal system. That if you were to do something wrong, that everyone gets treated, well, the same. And that if someone does something wrong and breaks a law, that they have the ability to have a fair trial by jury. So established justice is simply talking about the court systems, and that everyone gets fairness under the law. The next goal, ensure domestic tranquility. So let's break down those words, domestic and tranquility. The word domestic means within a country. So when we're talking about domestic, we're talking about within the borders of the United States. We're not talking about Canada or Mexico or any other country. Domestic means within the borders. So we're making sure that there's peace in America because that word tranquility means peace. So as it says there on the screen, ensure domestic tranquility simply means to keep peace within our country. So let's do a quick recap. We the people of the United States means that government gets its power from the people. The government is there to serve the people. First goal, in order to form a more perfect union, that the United States is a perfect society that you could live in. The next goal, establish justice, making sure everyone has equal treatment under the law. And then ensure domestic tranquility, making sure that there is peace within the borders of our country. The next goal, provide for the common defense. Now, we think of that word defense, most of us probably think of military, which is correct. So, provide for the common defense means to provide security within the borders, that we have a military, We have police, we have firefighters that are there to make sure we live in a safe environment. And that other countries don't have the ability to come and intrude on us because we have a military that can defend ourselves. The next goal, promote the general welfare. Now this one gets a little tricky. I think this helps if we think back to the philosophies behind Thomas Jefferson and his natural rights. He all said that we are entitled to the inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. When we're talking about to promote the general welfare, this is Thomas Jefferson's idea of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. So this is his idea of pursuit of happiness. And that overall people, that they're healthy, they're safe, they're happy, and that this is a society that builds upon being happy, and that this is a country that everyone would want to live in due to the safety. Everyone's healthy, everyone's happy, and they're not having to worry about things like this. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Now this is probably one of the biggest clumps to break down. We all know what liberty it means by now, which is freedom. So to secure the blessings of freedom to ourselves and our posterity. Now to ourselves obviously means to ourselves, but that word posterity means for generations. So think of it this way, that you have freedoms given to us by the Constitution, and we want to make sure that our kids uphold these same freedoms that we have today. Because if we think about it, this document is over 200 years old, and that even though it's 200 years old, we still have the exact same freedoms that Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, all of them had the exact same freedoms that we have today. So let's break it down one more time. We the people of the United States means that government gets its power from the people. Government is there to serve the people in order to form a more perfect union. That the United States is as perfect as a society as we can possibly provide. Establish justice. Everyone gets equal treatment under the law. Ensure domestic tranquility, making sure there's peace within the borders of our country. Provide for the common defense, making sure that our borders are safe, making sure that no other country is trying to invade us, that we have a military that is there to provide security. Promote the general welfare, making sure that our citizens are happy, healthy, all that good stuff. Secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Basically saying that we share the same freedoms that our kids will have the exact same freedoms that we have today. So this is what you need to know about the United States Preamble. After this, I highly recommend going back, watching the Schoolhouse Rock video, and we will know that for our test when that day arises. Adios.